Before we begin, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, the folks who help bring this episode of Park People to you, BCI Burke. Play is where development soars and communities come together. At BCI Burke, we believe outdoor spaces should be thoughtfully designed, built to last, and welcoming to everyone. Because when design is intentional, people feel it. Learn more at bciburke.com. Hey, welcome to the Park People podcast, presented by PRB Plus Magazine. This conversation is with Peter Kramer, an award-winning journalist who covers or shines a light on high school arts across New York's lower Hudson Valley and beyond. This particular story is about making theater a camp-ready team sport, and it talks specifically about the Camp Broadway program, which is a collection that launches with 5 shows and teaches kids life skills. We're going to pick up this conversation partway through with Peter. Here we go. Enjoy.
I spoke with people who ran these pilot programs over the last few years, people who have kind of basically helped to create this program by trying it. Dan Robey outside of in Ohio, grew up. He was I think he was an Eagle Scout. He was a camp, a Boy Scout camp counselor, a Boy Scout, but he's also a theater guy. So he kind of marries those two things of the summer camp experience, camping experience, and Broadway and theater. And he said the art of theater is inherently a group project and a team sport, and it requires leadership and setting an example, and it's everything you want at a summer camp. I talked to Carolyn Daniels, who is at a camp in Connecticut, and she said really what she's looking for. Yes, she wants to teach them theater and she wants to teach them acting and all that, but really what she wants is a great kid. She wants a kid who comes out of this experience better for it. What did you learn from this experience? What did theater teach you over this experience? And you can do it over 5 days. You can do it over a week. You can do it over, however long you have. You can expand this My Way coverage, this My Way package to fit whatever you have and whoever you have in front of you at the time. I've been talking a lot. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. You did a great job. And I know in talking with Susie, I think it was Susie, right? Is that
Susan? Yeah, Susan.
Susan. I'm sorry, Susan. She said that one of the interesting things that's come out of this is kids who get a taste for this world, Broadway. Suddenly it becomes real that it could be a career. It could be something that they want to do, community theater, something they want to do when they go back home. Like it's not just a 5-day program. I learned, the kid learns some stuff from it and picks up some life skills. It can be that, right? But there's a lot of cases where it's a stepping stone to other experiences, either back at their hometowns, in their communities, at their school, and their school theater program that maybe they hadn't considered before, or even further down the road. What was interesting to me too was the people who are involved behind the scenes that you've talked about. I mean, this is their life. This is their passion. Like this is, they are Broadway professionals.
100%.
Is that a fair statement? Like that's my understanding. Yeah.
The other aspect of this is it's not, I kind of maybe made it sound like it's a little Andy Rooney, like, not Andy Rooney, Mickey Rooney? No, Andy Hardy.
Andy Hardy.
My dad's got a barn. Let's put on a show. Rooney, Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney played Andy Hardy. Anyway,
there you
go. The idea is that this is authentic, authoritative material from Broadway. So John Pregnano, one of the people I talked to for the story is John Pregnano. He's this chief operating officer of Music Theater International. Now, these are the people who, when you say, I want to do Annie, you have to write to Music Theater International and they give you permission. They give you what's called performance rights. So you have to pay to do the rights for that musical. So, and then with that, they'll send you scripts and they'll send you all, performance tracks and all that other stuff and music and stuff. Well, this connection with MTI takes all of that out of it. If you sign up with Camp Broadway My Way, you get the authentic, authoritative materials that have been vetted by MTI that the performance rights that you would have to pay a lot more to do. But just to dip a toe here, and MTI has kind of streamlined that whole process. But then John Pregnano said to me, he said,
if I can break in for 1 second,
sure,
there, Peter,
yeah,
it's also like it's a little bit of a protection for you as the camp owner, because these are copyrighted materials. If you want to just put on your own version of Annie and you just kind of wing it, you're technically running afoul of copyright, and potentially having some issues there.
yes,
So
yes,
it's a good way. It's, from what I understand, tell me if I'm wrong, it's the most efficient, which is maybe another word for least expensive way that you can get rights to whatever Broadway musical or show that you want, plus all of the assets that you need to make it really easy, whether you have any theater background at all, to teach your kids in a short time frame, and how to put on a performance and put on a performance, right? So like, I know some camps will bring in somebody with a theater background, and then they'll use this program and that's a powerful combination. But I think the message here is that you don't need that theater specialist on staff. The materials are good enough for you to put on something if one of your programming people wants to do this. So like, it's not overwhelming. Is that all a fair statement?
exactly right. And the titles that are available are, they have 5 in their initial collection. It's Annie, Shrek, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, Guys and Dolls, and Seussical. Those are some really compelling titles that people know or that they maybe should know. How to Succeed is one of my favorite musicals of all time and won the Pulitzer Prize. Guys and Dolls is just, it's good. It's all good stuff. It's classic theater, but it's also titles like Annie and Shrek and Seussical that little kids know and can gravitate to.
Right.
But you're right about it is a sort of a protection in that you don't want to run afoul of MTI or these rights granting operations, which have lawyers. You
Right.
really don't want to. You don't want to go there. And this takes care of that element. But it's funny because John Pregnano said to me,
and remind me, sorry, Peter, to break in. Remind me, if you buy, let's say you buy Annie.
Yeah.
You have it forever, right? It's not just for one season or 5 days or whatever.
I think that's right. I'm not sure of how the logistics of it work. I would imagine so, that once you pay into it, you get it. But I'm not 100% sure on how that. I'm not sure if it's perpetual or what it is. But but you definitely have it for, for the length of the summer that you wanted to try it. And the digital package is updated constantly. And the access to like the Harmony Helper app and those sorts of things is tied to that summer, to that purchase, I guess. But John Pregnano at MTI was saying to me, he said something to me that sounded kind of weird for a show business guy. He said the performance is not important. I was like, what? He goes, no, the performance is secondary. What's important is what these kids are learning as they do this. When they're learning, he said when they did, Guys and Dolls, they didn't know what Barbasol was. They had no concept for what Barbasol was, and they had to learn the jargon. So there's every show has a glossary of terms that you learn, from the glossary term of like what a proscenium is, which is the arch through which you see the show. So theater terms, but also terms that are specific to that musical. So you might have a whole thing about Dr. Seuss, who Dr. Seuss was for Seussical, and how he drew and where he came from and all that stuff. So it's not really about the performance. It's about doing it your way, learning it. And like you said, being exposed to, hey, I could maybe be an actor, or hey, I could make costumes, or boy, this set design sounds like a kind of a cool thing. I really like doing that. I'd like to do more. So when I go back to school in the fall, maybe I'll look for a local theater company or a youth theater and get involved. Now that I know what's involved in it, now that I know kind of how it works, I'd like to do more. So I think that's the way. One of the things that Susan Lee said to me, which I thought was really great too, is it's kind of a win-win for Broadway to get involved like this, because it either creates new professionals, the next generation or a couple of generations back of new professionals, or it really makes good audience members, people who appreciate and will buy tickets to see Broadway eventually when they have kids of their own, or will pester their moms and dads to take them to Broadway immediately.
Right. Yeah, it's a wonderful program. We're happy to be able to help out. The magazine's going to help promote it more aggressively to camps, because I don't think it's well known. It's relatively new. I mean, it's been around a little bit, but the assets are amazing. Like it's when you start to, like you talked about, when you start to dig down into what you get to help you put the performances on, of course, that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
The artistic director, Theo, told me that he said, camps have experts. They have experts in knots and fires and how to build a lean-to and all that stuff. You don't need an expert. We've given you the experts. All you need is somebody who can read it and make it happen. And that could be youth counselors who you deputize to do this, or it could be somebody higher up. So I think the idea is that what Carolyn Daniels from the Connecticut camp told me was, what this does is it gives you permission to start, to start and say, this year I'm going to try this with these people, and then we can build out afterward. Because once you do a show, you always at the end of it realize, oh, I could have done this, or I could have done that, or I could have done that. And it's just a way.
And they're finding too that camps who are interested in dipping their toe in the water that start with this program have more success, because they're successful out of the box without having to become experts. But then their campers fall in love with it, and it's something that they can build on year over year. And of course, like anything else, the second time's easier than the first, and the fifth time's easier than the fourth, and on you go, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
So, wonderful.
But Dan Robey, who was the Boy Scout and theater guy, he said he wishes he had this when he was a camp counselor or camp program director, because it would have made those campfires so much more exciting and enlivening. Yeah. And he said that the thing about this that he really appreciates is that it kind of fills in the nighttime at a camp, a sleepaway camp, where homesickness can kind of feel, that can creep in. Homesickness can creep in at night. And when you're thinking show tunes and you're thinking about your choreography and how you're going to build the set the next day, it certainly does give you something to look forward to and make you think less about what you're missing. It's more about what you're getting. So
Well, excellent. Peter, thank you for your time. It was
great.
Is there anything else, like if you're a fellow journalist, if you were in my chair, is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't? Anything that you think we left out?
I think you nailed it, buddy. I think you're good. I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the website for the company is Camp BWAYMYWAY.com. CampBWayMyWay.com for more details, and it'll be in the story as well. So
it's in the story. It'll be in the liner notes for this podcast. So it'll be linked. So folks can find it there too. So well, good. Well, Peter, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All good. Thanks.
Us. Yeah.
And great being with you.
Yeah. I appreciate you writing the article for us. So have a great week.
Okay. Take care.
All righty. See ya.